I got a Daisy feeling. I got a Daisy feeling. Yeah.
Hello people, I am Jaby Koay, joined by the KIANA, the MADANI, and ACHARAJI.
Hi.
That was really awkward.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're gonna look at Little Things Season 2, Episode 2, and this is on Netflix, which means that this is a little bit more complicated. So for you guys on YouTube, we're gonna be showing you a supercut of our favorite moments that we wanna share. We can only do it in 20-second increments in a total of 10 minutes of the episode. But on Patreon, what we will share is a watch along, which means that you can have our reaction in one window and Netflix in another window, and we'll have a timer there so you guys can sync it up. I apologize that it's not more convenient, but that's the way we gotta do it for now. Thanks so much for your patience and understanding. Little Things, Season 2, Episode 2.
Right.
Yeah, Episode 1 was interesting. It went somewhere that I was definitely not expecting.
It was good, I liked it.
And it set up an interesting precedent. So I'm hoping that it really goes places in Episode 2. Here we go.
What's going on, Dhruv? I can tell from your body language that you're simply not interested.
I love your enthusiasm, Kavya. It's almost contagious.
But you have no motivation left. Do you really want to work here?
No.
The way your work is improved, it's truly commendable.
Look, your mind is clearly somewhere else. Don't you think it's time to just move on?
Just fire me and give me severance.
Are you ready to start managing a team? So now what? Like, I don't have to come from tomorrow?
When do I take on the new role?
Oh, wow, that looks yummy.
I know, that looks really good, yeah.
Every single time that we do a reaction, there's food and it makes me hungry.
I got a promotion in a race.
What?
Promotion on
Okay,
a race.
congrats.
By the way, Johan is throwing a small party at his house, okay? Housewarming hai, be there by 7, okay? What did you want to tell?
Never mind.
I got tenure.
Look at all that pizza. Is that pizza?
I'm very happy through 22 lakhs per annum.
Dude, अब से मेरी sriracha sauce
बहुत हो गया यार. I'm just too bored with everything. I'm bored with Tinder. My job sucks. I'm bored with Zomato. Pizza को भी देखती हूँ तो I feel like fat.
देख अगर if you're not happy then you should quit. कुछ और ढूंढ लेना. It's better than being unhappy every day.
I feel like she's not gonna be happy about it though.
We've actually bought this house.
बॉम्बे में घर खरीद लिया.
It's nice, no?
It's great.
Uh-oh.
And what do you do?
Oh no.
Massachusetts, yeah. Online.
I'm excited to see a little dark side of Dhruv.
He's actually doing his PhD in nuts.
Yeah, so I was, but I quit.
Eventually he might just get back to it.
I don't know about that, but let's see.
Oh no.
I actually have to be a housewife for 49 days. Some kind of Riti Rivaj stuff, I tell you.
I mean, you're staying at home, you're doing work, and you're managing the house. It's nice, right? I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it, to be honest.
Yeah, Dhruv, but see, that's the difference, right? When you choose to do it or versus when you're forced to do it.
Okay, fair point.
No, but I kind of agree with Dhruv. Who wouldn't want to sit at home and take care of the house or just chill?
Oh no.
I've just told her not to post any pictures on any of those social media sites. That's it.
That's gonna be difficult.
We're so addicted.
Yes,
sure.
You please carry on.
Yeah, have another
Please
drink.
help yourselves, yeah? See you.
God, their house is so nice.
Keeping
That
up with the
bar.
Joneses.
I know.
Very
with the
much keeping up with the
Joneses.
Joneses, yeah.
Can you imagine he bought this house?
I know.
He must have planned it well. इतना easily नहीं होता.
Dude, plan किया भी तो कितना plan किया?
CEO है ना वो.
CEO नहीं है, लंड है.
Tell us how you really feel, Dhruv.
Hopefully
Salih
it doesn't
cheated on her, man. Can you imagine?
It's their personal shit, okay? They'll figure it out on their own.
What's going on?
I'm just telling you to ask me before you spend our money, that's it. मैं मना थोड़ी ना करूँगी यार.
Yes, it is our money. And I've kept all the records of it. What's yours is yours.
Oh.
You know, if you want, I can send you the document right away. Do you want me to mail it to you? Huh?
Damn.
Why is she married to him? Oh.
Take care of everything, Jerry. और अब से ना, absolute transparency. Complete transparency, I promise.
No, they must be married.
They are married.
Okay.
Yeah, but he cheated on her.
But he talks to her like that, and oh.
हाँ, मेरी गाड़ी है. अरे क्या हो गया
What
भैया?
happened? Has it been repoed?
हमारा अपना फ्लैट है, हम लोग रेंट पे नहीं रहते हैं. पार्किंग का एक्स्ट्रा. मैं एक पैसा भी नहीं दूंगा आपको सर. अरे क्योंकि आप लोगों ने हमें चूतिया समझ के रखा हुआ है यार.
That's what happens when you live in a fancy place. They want to charge you for everything.
Listen, I love you, okay?
I was gonna tell her.
चले?
Oh no.
Starter खत्म हो जाएंगे नहीं तो.
There you go. Subtext.
A man after my own heart.
Subtext. They were having a real father of the bride moment in that bathroom, messing around with the bathroom stuff. It's falling apart.
Acha sun. Do you think Salman Khan is still a virgin?
What?
No.
Girls like us who belong to middle class or upper middle class backgrounds, it feels so nice, right?
Do not have to rely on a boyfriend.
I feel like she's a little bit drunk.
And it's not like we're chasing money or anything. We just want to be self-sustainable.
You should.
भाई बड़ा कैमरा कितने में लिया यार बहुत सही है
चीज़ आपके लिए free है.
अरे नहीं मजाक नहीं कर जिन नहीं पता.
That's the worst.
Oh, I know. Do you
Y'all
know people
kill
like
me.
that? They drive you crazy.
This one
It's
over
like,
here.
I want to eat.
Y'all kill me with that.
It's me. Wait.
Hey Rick, ये website. It calculates the time you have with the family when you're living away from them. According to them, I will meet my parents for like now 321 days.
Oh no.
That's like 1 year.
That's like 1 year. अब मेरे बाकी के जो 30 साल हैं, उन सालों में मैं सिर्फ उनसे 1 साल मिलूंगी. तू भी देख ले.
नहीं यार रहने दे. It's too depressing.
Yeah.
Just let me keep my head in the
I
sand.
know.
बचपन में 10 में भी ज़्यादा लग रहा था. अब साला 10,000 भी कम लगता है.
Right. What's going on with them?
Wow. महंगा चीज़ हाँ.
कहाँ से आया?
Fridge से भाई.
That's so naughty.
I know. It's really naughty.
अरे what are you guys doing here? Huh?
Lovely kitchen.
Yeah, great kitchen man.
Thank you. Me and Cherry, we just love it. It's super. Guys, just be careful. Please, just be a little careful, huh?
Damn.
Guys,
Did you pay your bills? Oh, there
Lights
we
up,
go.
party.
Yay!
Party in the
Acoustic guitar
dark.
time.
Light some candles. Break out the incense.
Romantic.
what are you doing here? Everyone's waiting outside. What are you looking at?
Can't you see?
What?
What? Their house is falling apart. Is this a metaphor?
What the fuck have you gotten into here?
It's not as bad as that parking price.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly. Because that's the thing, you never know, right?
Yeah. To them, their house is perfect. Their life is perfect.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you don't know what's
very
going on, what
interesting.
their problems are.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Oh, she's drunk. Don't tell her now. Or tell her now. I don't know.
यार I quit my job.
And you didn't think it was important to talk to me about it or discuss it with me?
I'm so glad they did that.
yeah.
I'm so glad they did that. Because I was like, why is she so understanding? I need
know.
some conflict.
What happened? Details बताएगा?
अरे कुछ नहीं यार. They figured that I'm not happy there. I'm not enjoying work, so they gave me an option and I chose to quit. Simple.
So they didn't fire you. You chose to quit.
हाँ. वही हुआ. I feel better now suddenly about it.
अरे screw feeling better यार Dhruv.
अक्षरा को क्या बोली थी पार्टी में? If your heart is not in it, then don't do it ना. तो मैंने भी तो वही किया ना. Isn't it the same thing?
Not the same Dhruv.
How is it not the same?
Because my life does not depend on Akshara. It depends on you.
Bro, it doesn't depend on me.
I just said that because I was happy, okay? And then you said this and then it's ruined whatever.
See, this is what it's about. That I ruined your day, no?
Driver must be feeling
I know. Like,
well
whoa,
awkward.
yeah.
Why is it so difficult to pause? God damn it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was right. It is written by Dhruv Sehgal.
that's why it's called backseat. They were in the backseat the whole time.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's like they're in the backseat of their lives.
Wow. This season is super real.
Yeah, she's got real. It felt
got
like a
real.
real argument. I was like,
wow.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable. And I noticed all of us, it's like,
Quiet.
dead silence.
Yeah, no, quiet.
Like, I started getting a migraine watching that.
I
was just like,
know.
oh God, this is too real. It's a lot.
Well, Dhruv wrote the whole thing himself, I guess.
Yeah.
That's amazing. He's a good writer.
He
He's
is.
very talented.
Makes me wonder what's been going on in his relationship.
It was good
What's
to
he
see,
drawing on?
Yeah, it's good to see that side of him too, where it makes him a little bit more human. He's not always just like kind of happy and really positive about everything. So it's nice to see a different side of Dhruv.
I just think it's really interesting that you're starting to see the cracks in the relationship because that whole argument, it wasn't just like, oh, you quit or something, there's so much underneath it, and it's all just like bubbling to the surface like a volcano erupting, because it is about that, but it is like everything else as well.
I really liked what the episode was aiming for, its objectives, how it was trying to illustrate to you that you don't always know what's going on with someone else.
Yeah.
You think you know. It's almost
Yes.
like an Instagram, you know, you're seeing a curated form of their life. It's just the highlights. You're not actually seeing what goes on in their day-to-day, which is mostly just them on the toilet taking a shit. Most people's lives are actually pretty mundane, but Instagram makes it look like they're living
Right.
that kind of big open mouth look, you know.
Living my best life, people.
Yeah.
Foodie photos,
YOLO.
food porn.
Foodie photos.
I really enjoyed that. I like that they show what was going on with them.
Yeah.
I like the actors they chose to represent that couple. I think that the casting is really good at picking supporting actors so far.
Yes.
Because the friend in the previous episode and the couple in this episode, I liked them. I thought they were really good. I like the lady who's on the bed looking at the amount of time she has left with her parents.
That was
I know.
so depressing
So
for me.
sad.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a thought that's always crossing my mind, because I feel
course,
like I
yeah.
never spend enough time with my parents, and my parents living in another country that's like thousands of miles away.
It depends how you look at it. There's different philosophies you can take from that. The thing is, you're not supposed to be spending every single day with them for the rest of your life. You're supposed to see them when you can, but it's like the whole point is that you're supposed to live your own life. I understand the longing to hold on to that and spend more time. You're afraid of them going away and not getting to see them more before they leave the earth, but it's like you can't spend every single second with them.
I know.
You know?
that. I want to be able to, when I am spending time with them, spend quality time.
Right, I get
like,
it.
Every conversation I have with my parents now, I'm trying so hard to record everything that they're saying, because I'm like, I might never hear it, this iteration of what they're saying ever
That's what a
again.
camera's for.
Yeah.
Shara, you're so sweet. I love that. I'm very close with my family too, and I get that, but my family is thankfully not so far away. I mean, they live in the Bay Area, and for me, that's even too far. And
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what you go through with a family that's like in a different country. That's really tough.
That argument in the car, which is a huge chunk of the episode. I liked what they did there where they initially showed you what would have been little things.
Yes, I love that. I was like, that's not real life.
Yeah, because I was like, really? They really did that? And then
So cute.
yeah, she's like, whatever. And I'm like, that's exactly what Dhruv would have done in the previous season. And it kind of annoyed me. And then they were like, no, that's not really what's happening. This is reality now. They're showing you a very discernible difference between what was yesterday and what is today, at least as far as the show is concerned. I have been through my fair share of long arguments that don't end. Believe me, like I dated a girl who on the regular, we would argue for like 5 hours.
Oh my
and
God.
I've said this before, I'm sure somewhere, but we lived in a one-bedroom apartment. I went into the one bedroom that we had, locked the door, shut and locked it, and she jimmied it open with a screwdriver so we could keep arguing. Like that's how passionate she was about arguing. I've been through that.
Should have been a lawyer.
And so, no, having had that experience, it's like I can discern that real life from what should be on screen. And for me, what should be on screen is a more curated, more truncated version of that. You have to have these points that you're trying to make as... Speaking directly to Dhruv, please forgive me if I'm upsetting you, because he wrote this episode. I feel like half of that could have gone, because the same points were being made over and over again. So it didn't feel like a trajectory up. It just felt like they were fishtailing over and over again through that whole argument.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And yes, maybe. But I wonder if maybe what he's trying to do is reflect what it's really like to have an argument. Because that's what it's really like. There's a lot of repetition. There's a lot of, but you didn't, but you, no, listen to me, but you didn't say this, and and then it's just a lot of repeating over. That's why I was getting so distraught, because I was like, this is really uncomfortable. This
You get 3 of those.
Really true to life.
You get 3 of those. You can't have 10 of those. Like there was, it kept happening like the whole car ride. I'm like, you can have it 3 times to illustrate the point. The audience will get it. You have to trust the audience. You have to kill your babies is what it's called. It's like, you gotta take out what you're holding on to in favor of what is the cream of the crop in your dialogue. Cause like, there was so much gold in there and then it kind of got lost in stuff that that they just didn't cut out. I'm inclined to think that maybe only part of it was written and a lot of it was improvised. Because it felt like dramatic improv to a degree.
It felt very organic. I could see that, definitely. I could
Yeah.
see it being dramatic improv.
I think that by virtue of the way they were trying to shoot it, they couldn't really edit it out. So I'm seeing both sides of it at the same time because they wanted this one long take. So it felt like you were there experiencing that with them. And I'm like, I understand that philosophy as well. I'm really into long takes. I dig that a lot. I get why they couldn't edit it down from a technical perspective. If it was all on the page and this is all memorized dialogue, I would have loved it if they could have chopped that in half and just kept like the best of it.
I kind of felt like the driver in that scene, and I think that was a lot to do with how they framed it. I felt like I was there with them. Whenever you're in a confined space with some people who are having an argument and you can't leave.
And you can't say anything either
it's
because it's
so
none of your business.
awkward.
Yeah, it's so awkward.
It's like, oh.
You experience that with friends as well. Like
Yeah.
when you have
Yeah.
a friend couple that's like,
That's fighting. You're like, do I leave?
where do I go?
Where do I go?
Where's the
Or
exit?
siblings. Oh my
No.
God, siblings.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been there. I watched Greg get into a massive end of the world argument with his girlfriend. I'm like, this is awkward. I have a question for y'all. Maybe she was a little tipsy, but there's a scene right before the woman is on the bed looking at how much time she has left with her parents, where they were talking about what it is to be a modern woman. Do you have that kind of dialogue with people in real life? Because
yes.
I was looking at it going, I understand what they're saying is spoken about, but the way they were talking about it, I was starting to question a little bit. And I just didn't know if that's how girls talk.
I think so. At least with my girlfriends, it's more of like we talk about things and then we'll ask questions. I feel like Kavya was kind of like, yeah, our parents are really proud of us. Like she wasn't really asking, she was more telling them. And I feel like when I have these conversations with girlfriends, it's more of a
conversation.
collaborative. Yeah, it's a more collaborative thing. It's like you ask questions and everybody has a different experience. But I kind of felt like she was speaking for all of them, which may not necessarily be true.
You mean true for the characters or true for real life?
True for real life.
For the characters and for real life. Because
Okay.
she was like, yeah, our parents are proud of us. Maybe the other girls, you don't know what their life is. And I just felt like she was just telling them. In real life, I think everybody has different experiences and different things going on, but we definitely have these conversations.
Yeah, 100%. 100% we have these conversations.
And it's that positive?
Oh yeah, like girls are super supportive of each other when it's
Yeah.
like girlfriends talking,
Yeah.
and it'll be like, yeah, you go girl, get out there, make that money. We don't need a man. You can support yourself. Like we're doing so well for ourselves, and like we should celebrate that. Like yeah, totally have had those conversations, but I do see what you mean. In the sense of like, it did feel a little bit contrived. Like we're trying to make a point here. Like this is the moral of this scene, which is
That's
like,
what I was
hey,
getting. Yeah, that's what I was getting from that.
Yeah, no, I got that. But the conversation itself and what they're talking about, I feel like I've definitely had these conversations with my
Yes.
girlfriends where we're like,
Yeah.
we need to step up, and we are, and like I'm taking care of myself, and I'm proud of myself, and my family's proud of me.
Okay.
Like yeah,
So
totally.
but I did see that what you just said is what I was thinking. Like it felt like it was kind of an after-school special in that moment.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
She was a little preachy, and
Yeah.
I think in the situation, maybe for the shoot, the other girls in the scene could have been like, yes, or like said something, whereas opposed to just her talking and telling them what their experiences are.
I really like the father of the bride moment in the bathroom though. I thought that was awesome. You know Father of the Bride, Steve Martin?
It's been a long
Yes, I
time.
love that movie.
He tries to look at the mirror and like the mirror falls off or something like that. Like it's one of those things where you're so curious because this person is so wealthy
Yeah.
and they've got all these nice things and maybe you kind of like spray some of it on yourself. You're like, oh, that sounds so
Oh my god, I am that person
You know what I'm saying?
in the bathroom. I feel so bad admitting this,
Yeah.
but like I love snooping in people's bathrooms. I'm like,
Achara, you can't come to my house.
what
I'm
products
just kidding.
have you got? What are you
Should do that.
using? You're basically shopping in your bathroom going, should I get that?
Yeah.
Ooh, does it smell?
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
but like, what the worst is when you touch something and it falls.
Oh yeah,
and
oh
you're
no.
like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
That
you
would
know?
be
This
so
is aside
bad.
from the universe
Like,
that I shouldn't be doing
yeah.
You
this.
just freak out. Like I house sat for a friend once. Him and his wife had this foot rug right outside the shower, and I washed it, and it got really small, and I was like, oh my god, I had a freak out. I mean, he's obviously not 1-to-1, but like I called him apologizing. I was like, no, that's what happens. It just has to breathe for a while, and then it
Oh my
expands
god!
again.
I can imagine you in that
Yeah.
situation just freaking out.
Yeah, I always get scared that if I broke someone else's thing, especially because I
Yeah.
know that they had all nice stuff. That rug cost more money than my rent here. Like
Yeah.
that's how much that little
Yeah.
shower rug was. 'Cause, like that's how well off they are.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know?
Like it's so nerve-wracking when you go stay at someone's house or you're at someone's house and you accidentally break something. But like 9 times out of 10, they're really cool.
It's fine to break something if it's cheap, because then you can replace it.
Yeah.
It's scary if you're breaking something at someone's house when they're wealthy, because you're like, wait, you don't know how much that costs.
Yeah, but
like,
usually they're quite nice about it though. Usually.
you never know.
Or when
Some
you
people are
spill
stingy. They
things.
didn't get rich by giving it away.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
no, I
so-
totally,
Yeah.
totally. I know people on both spectrums where they're like,
Yeah.
they're very wealthy, but they freak out over these little things. Or like, I had a girlfriend, she had a boss, and this woman, she and her husband combined, their net worth was $50 million. And she was nannying their kids or something, and they got mad at her for buying a $4 Starbucks coffee. They're like, yeah, you spent, $10 at Starbucks. What are you buying stuff for yourself? And they got mad at her for that. And it's like, whoa, like $50 million? That's okay.
Yeah.
$10 at Starbucks is not gonna kill you.
Yeah.
It's a
But
weird
it's a weird
situation.
thing.
Yeah, it's like
you
that.
get two ends of the spectrum when it comes to people who are wealthy. You get people who are very, very nickel and diming every little thing, and that's how they.
why they're rich.
That's why they're rich, and the other people who are just generous. They don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it.
Buy something for yourself too. You're buying something for the kids. Get yourself a coffee
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was their nanny. That's the thing. It's like, okay. That's, yeah.
I want to emphasize again that I really liked that moment in the house. Like the lights went out, and then
Yeah.
they see the I don't know what that was, like
I
the
think it was, like,
asbestos or
crack
something
or-
coming
I
through.
don't know what
like,
That was,
or
I
something.
know.
Yeah, it must have been a
That's
leak. Yeah.
scary.
I was like, what the hell are they looking at? And just seeing that actually makes me feel a little bit better about myself. I'm like, oh yeah, wealthy people have problems too.
Yeah.
Like we all have our problems.
Well, I thought it was like a very interesting metaphor. Like, once again, maybe almost too much on the nose, but you know, it's kind of symbolic of you see the exterior. The house looks so nice, the furnishings are so nice, but the foundation, it's falling apart, and you don't see that. So,
And there is that mo money, mo problems thing that is, you know, it's a very real thing in this episode. I could see them struggling to put like that wealthy front up, and we're so happy, and this is our amazing house. And then, like inside, they're like internally having this horrible experience.
Yeah.
There's an anecdote that my philosophy teacher shared with me that I've never forgot.
What is
And it's, I mean, I don't know if it's an anecdote, it's just a kind of a thing to think about, a fun thought experiment. He's like, imagine that you own a house and then you come out to water your lawn and then your neighbor's out there watering his lawn. You smile at each other and everything's like hunky-dory, but really you're both in your basements maniacally building nuclear bombs. Like that's what, that's what life is.
Yeah.
On the surface, you're like, hey, but inside you're crazy, like losing your mind because you've got all these problems. I like this episode more than the previous one.
Me too.
I mean, I still really appreciated that conflict they introduced in the first one, and I like that in general this season is showing us more and more conflict, because Little Thing season 1 was largely like light. It's something just simple and
fluffy.
It didn't go deep. Like this shit's going deep.
It's getting real.
Yeah.
It's getting really real.
One of the things I like that he said though in the middle of their argument, one of the gems was that, and her response was also interesting, was that he's like, why are you talking to me this way? Like, remember how I was when you quit your job? And she goes, yeah, but that was back then. I'm trying to do this now. We're trying to get here now. And I'm like, that felt super real. I mean, I feel like there have been many instances where I've done something and later on when there was an opportunity for it to be reciprocated and it just wasn't, because that person changed their mind or they just didn't feel like it anymore, whatever. It's like you harbor this resentment, but there's really nothing you can do.
Because it's not fair. I didn't feel like when I saw that, I thought that's not fair. And the thing is that when I was watching this, I felt, okay, he is your boyfriend. You guys aren't married. Yes, it affects her. She should be there. They're young. She should be there to support him because that's exactly what he did for her. And I think that's the fair thing to be in a relationship. And that's what you sign up for in a relationship. Not everything is gonna be fucking awesome all the time, and you're there to support each other. So I kind of feel like she expects a lot, but then she doesn't give a lot.
I thought as well, like when he called her out on it, I was like, yeah, she is being hypocritical.
Yeah.
Because at the party, her friend, she's all like, yeah, well, you shouldn't do that, you know, if you're not happy. And then here he is, her boyfriend, the person that she supposedly cares about most. And he's like, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And she's all like, well, you should have told me. Like, for what? So you can sit there and be unhappy some more while you figure it out? Like, just support him. And then, after all, it is his life, you know? Like, I understand that when you're in a relationship, there is a certain sense of like, it's not just you and I, we're now and us, but you still have your life.
Yeah, and you know,
You
they
should be
don't have kids yet. They don't have a mortgage. I mean, they're young, like they can figure it out. And he was so supportive of her when she was like on her sabbatical, like trying to figure out who she was, and she treated him pretty badly. And I felt for him in that situation. I don't think he handled it well. I don't think you should tell someone that when they're drunk at, 3 a.m. or whatever it is. I felt for him there, and I think she was kicking him when he was down a little bit. I understand maybe he should have mentioned to her, like, hey, look, I'm really unhappy, and like, I get that. You're in a relationship, you should talk about things. But I feel like she made him feel worse. And I have a friend who recently was very unhappy at work and lost their job, and that's like not necessarily as a friend or a partner. You want to be honest and real, but also be kind and take care of your partner, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Totally.
It's tough. That's a toughie. The one positive thing for me was I saw both sides of their arguments in that scene in the car. It was like, while I felt like it went on long, I felt like I could really see both of their perspectives, and
very real.
It was real things that I feel like we could relate to at the very least.
Totally.
You know.
And I mean, I guess as someone who's watching the argument from the outside, when you're not the person in it, it is so much easier to see both sides. But when you're in that argument, oh boy, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
The last thing I want to say is one thing they didn't do in the previous episode that they did this time was there was a lot more subtext going on.
Yes.
I feel like it still could have used more. Like there's a lot of opportunities to have less dialogue and more implication or more just like looks. In general, I felt like there was way more subtext here, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
So,
it's good. It's great.
Agreed.
You guys,
Loving
thanks so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to check out KIANA MADANI and Achara Kirk on the social media. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out our other reactions, reviews, and short films. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
KIANA MADANI.
and
Achara Kirk.
peace out.